Hello, hello, my people. I missed you. It's been gone for too long. It's been the whole summer already, which went by in a flash, but I still miss you all so, so much. Welcome back to our first PC Power Hour of the fall 2024 semester. We have a lot to go through. We will use this session to give you an overview of what we have planned for the entire semester so that you have all the information you need to kick off the term correctly and on track and knowing everything that's going on with us. Obviously, things come up here and there, but hopefully this will give you a good span in terms of what we have upcoming for the program so that you can advise your scholars and again also be informed yourself. We have a packed agenda today, so just going through this quickly. We will start off with some scholarship program announcements. This will be a little bit more administrative stuff, some policy stuff. So please make sure that you're making note of all of this because Elena has some updates that she's going to be sharing that are really important. And she is no joke. She is cracking the whip this semester. So make sure that you are paying attention to some of this stuff. After that, we're going to go into some fall programming. So Nicole, Wesley, and myself will talk about more of the programmatic side in terms of internships and supporting scholar development. And then hopefully if we have enough time, we can do some additional updates on external programming and some of the stuff that we've already done with careers and tax guides. And then hopefully, again, we will have a little bit of time at the end for your questions, comments, concerns. As I always say, we always want to hear from you in order to find out how we can move together more effectively and efficiently. So with all that being said, I am going to start kicking it in. Let's start with the program announcement, scholarship announcements, and I will pass it off to the lovely Elena.
Hi, everyone. So as Chris mentioned, we have some policy updates that I'm going to talk about. We did mention it in the PC Weekly that went out at the end of July, so the one that you received on July 31st. And that's really around our GPA policy. So what we've had in the program guide for years now is that if a scholar during the renewal period had fallen below a 2.0, we were going to allow them to keep the scholarship for another year in hopes that they are able to bring their GPA up to at least a 2.0 or higher. Just through feedback that a lot of you have shared, we know in a lot of cases that even though we've allowed them to keep the scholarship, they've been academically dismissed from your schools. And so moving forward with the renewal in 2025, if they are below a cumulative GPA when they renew their scholarship, it will be denied and they will lose their award. So we have already communicated this change to the scholars last week during the back to school email campaign. Wanted to make you aware of it again in case you didn't see it in the PC Weekly, just so as you're talking to your scholars, you can make them aware that if they're below that 2.0, kind of going into the spring semester, that, you're working with them or sending them to other folks on campus who can help them sort of work on bringing that up so that they don't lose their scholarship. So we do have it, as I said, we've talked about it in an email to the scholars. We also have it in the scholarship program guide. So we have it in 3 different areas. So their scholar commitments, in the question, what happens if I fail or drop a class? And then what do I do if my cumulative GPA falls below a 2.5? So, it was a tough decision for us to go ahead and make this, but it was one that we felt that was best across the board because as I mentioned, a lot of you have already shared with us that they've, academically dismissed from the school and things like that. So just again, wanted to really spotlight this key update to our policy. Scholars can appeal the decision, but I will say the appeal is only going to be granted in an instance where the scholar has raised their GPA on their own. So once they lose the scholarship, if they continue to take classes, they're paying for it on their own, because at this point we want them to have some skin in the game. And they still have funds remaining in their accounts, as well as still time within the scholarship time frame that we allow. We would then approve to reinstate their scholarship, but only once they have raised it on their own. Ryan, it did not impact this year's renewals because we had not implemented it yet. So anyone that was below a 2.0 for the first year during the 24-25 renewal period, they were renewed with an academic warning, telling them that they have the next year to bring their GPA up or they will lose it. So I hope that helps. Carla, that's actually in a slide coming up where we talk about the changes to the program guide. So you'll see the links there. So any other questions that somebody? Okay, Monica. So the appeal process is in their request form. So located in their ISTS Scholar portal, under the request form is where they would go to submit their appeal. Again, if they submit it now, they haven't increased their GPA, it will be denied. But if they have already increased it, then yes, they can go ahead and submit the appeal and it will most likely be approved, provided they still have funding in their account as well as time remaining on the scholarship. Hannah, yes. So they would need to bring it up on their own. So like I said, in an effort to be good stewards of the funds that we have been given, they're going to have to figure out a way to pay for school on their own to increase their GPA to then come back. Denise, if they do it within one semester, yes, they can go ahead and appeal. And then we would see, so if they bring it up in fall and then it's prior to the start of the spring semester, they go through the appeal process and we approve it, then they would be eligible for funds starting in spring again.
I think we have someone with their hand raised, Elena.
Okay.
So why don't we just take that one last question and then we should move on because there is a lot for us to cover. So Bailey. Bailey, you have your hand raised. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, that was by accident. All right, so let's move on. Next slide.
All right, and as we had mentioned in PC Weeklies, we did end up doing a second round of renewals. Scholars, those who had not completed their renewal during the June period, they had issues with the transcript and that was the only thing missing. Things like that. They had the opportunity at the beginning of August to complete their renewal. I finished with that review today. And so all of the eligibility, scholar statuses, as well as renewal eligibility, I will have all of that updated by tomorrow. So if you were to run a report starting tomorrow, anybody that has been approved, I did have a couple of denials in there still. You'll be able to see that. And then by Friday of this week, ISTS will send out those final decisions to those scholars who did take advantage of the second round renewal. And just to kind of give you an idea, we had almost 200 scholars that were eligible to complete the renewal because they did not take care of it during the June period. And we only had a little over a quarter take advantage of that opportunity. So anybody who did not get it complete during this round that we had available in August has lost their scholarship for the year, and they would have to submit an appeal for reinstatement for next year. So when Chris was talking about cracking the whip, that's where the whip is being cracked. So they had 3 weeks to do it in June. If they didn't take advantage of it, they were given one last chance at the beginning of August. So that is sort of where we stand with that. So you can go ahead and go on to the next slide there, Chris. Or Nicole, sorry. um, Angela, I'll talk about that in just a minute. So just to give everyone a heads up, the fall EBR schedule has been updated and placed on the website for everyone. So starting September 3rd through October 31st, you can begin submitting your fall EBRs. I know kind of going along with last year, this is a little bit later than what we've done in the past, but since we are now sort of having that second renewal round, we want to make sure that everybody's eligibility is updated and in the system so that you can begin pulling your reports and you know exactly who is eligible for fall funding. So the rest of the dates are in there. And then if we could throw up that poll just real quick, I wanted to check with everyone whether you think it would be helpful or not for us to host an EBR refresher, whether it's you've got somebody new on campus that is now responsible for completing the EBR, or you feel like you just need a refresher. If you could just let us know yes or no real quick, we would appreciate it. Because if we need to do one, we want to make sure we get that on the books. And while we have that happening, Angela, I'll answer your question as well real quick about taking a year off. Same place in the request form that's located in our ISTS portal, and all of that information is provided in the scholarship program guide. Okay, so it looks like we will be hosting a refresher. So more to come in your PC Weekly about when we will host that for everyone. And I think, Chris, I think it might be over to you now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Elena. So as we're talking about EVRs, I just wanted to touch base with everyone again about some of the best practices regarding the tuition and stipend payments, and really sort of just letting students know what the process is so that they are not freaking out. We are already getting emails from students asking about when their payments are coming in. They're freaking out because they're getting emails from the bursar's office letting them know that the payment is due and their courses may be dropped. So just wanted to touch base on these three sort of best practices for this sort of time of the year. So first, please make sure that there is a service indicator or hold on your scholar's account so that their courses are not dropped for non-payment, because that payment will be coming through TheDream.Us later in the semester. And also to make sure that they don't incur any late fees due to, again, the delay with the scholarship funds being sent. In addition to that, it goes a long, long way just to email the scholars themselves and let them know that they are on your radar, you know who they are, you are working through the process, you are working with your bursar's office. I remember when I was working at Hunter, like the bursars was like, I cannot like remove them from the overall announcements that go out for payments. So just letting them know they're gonna see those announcements, but just stay calm. I'm working with them. You don't have to worry about your courses being dropped. This is roughly when you will be able to see those payments be posted to your account, and if appropriate, when you would be receiving your stipends, right? So we've actually crafted a sample email that you'll be able to have the link through at the presentation. Please feel free to edit that, right? Everybody has their own flavor, their own sort of notes that they have for their own scholars on their campus, but you can definitely use the sample email as a template, and then sort of add those components that you want your scholars to know, especially those new scholars coming in this year. Those are the ones that are unfamiliar with the process and are probably freaking out about those announcements, right? So really would like you guys to hopefully send those out to students as soon as possible. And then the last note is please submit your EVRs as soon as possible, right? And I know that there are delays with state aid and sort of, the time when the courses are sort of solidified in the systems for enrollment, that you need to wait on in order to really sort of have a proper indication of what the student's billing is going to be for the semester. So 100% understand that, but really try to submit your EVR as soon as that dust has cleared and that process has been completed. Back in December, we did a PC Power Hour. We asked for your feedback on the EVRs, and you guys burnt us, right? Like you came hard. You let us know like what the turnaround time was and what the delays was. And honestly, we have thick skin. We took it and we understood that, right? Like we want to be good partners in this as well, right? So we took your feedback. We are working with ISTS. We now have a total system with protocols in tracking when you submit, how long it takes them to turn that around, when the funds are released. And so we're doing our due diligence in that feedback and really sort of making an efficient process for you, right? But all that means nothing until you submit the EVR, right? So if everyone does it at the last minute, even the processes that we have in place will not be able to sort of clear those bottlenecks and will still cause delays. So the earlier you can send it in, the better it is going to be for everyone in getting that payment to the college, getting the stipends out, and getting all of the tuition payments cleared in a timely manner. So just wanted to throw that out there. Um, and then I'm going to kick it back to Elena for the scholarship program guides.
All right, so y'all are stuck with me for just a little bit longer. So we have done over the summer a complete refresh on our scholarship program guides. So for those that are used to seeing the program guides, you can tell brand new photos. We have split the national program guides up since there is different information based on when they were awarded the scholarship. So we have the one for anyone who was awarded after 2022. So our 23-24 cohort and beyond is the first one you see pictured here. Those that were awarded before 22, they have the one that's there in the middle. And then our opportunity scholars still have just their own separate one as well. Sedana's throwing the link to the program guides there in the chat. But if you don't remember sort of where to get to them, on our website, if you go to the little For Partner College tab up at the top, you can scroll down to Tools and Resources and find it under the Scholarship Management link. And then if you're telling your scholars where to find it, they have the link under their For Current Scholars section. And once they click on that section there, down below under resources, they'll see scholarship tools, and that takes them to their program guide as well as the partner college directory, all the emails we send them and things like that. So just a quick reminder there on how to access it from our website if you don't have the link handy. You can go ahead and move over to the next slide. And then something else that we have done with the scholars, and it's noted in their scholarship program guide, we've talked about it in emails to them, is we now have a new email address for scholars to reach to email us at. So that way, a lot of times we have scholars that will reach out to one person on the team, but then separately send that same exact email to multiple folks on the team. And when it's not coming to one centralized location or they're copying everybody on it, we have too many people trying to figure out what's going on and trying to solve the situation for them. And so just to make it easy, we have everything coming to one email address now, where it's coming specifically to a team member and not even somebody at ISTS, so in their program support department. So we're taking all that back in-house. So the email address is askus@TheDream.Us. If you have an applicant applying for the scholarship, so when the new round opens in November, we still want those folks to reach out to the ISTS program support team. And so that address is there listed as well. And then just to kind of give you a heads up now, in the coming months, we're going to have an update for you as well. So on who exactly you need to reach out to on our team based on your needs or questions, because it will vary who you need to reach out to. So again, just in the coming months, know that we'll be, talking about it again during one of our PC Power Hours on basically who to go to for what. So, and I think that might be it for me.
Thank you so much, Elena. So hopefully that was some good information, and you guys can see we are working on our administrative processes and really trying to work with you all and sort of making clear decisions on how things are being run, and really sort of just being transparent with you all so that you understand the systems in place, right? On a separate note, I want to also talk a little bit about PR agency that we have been working with for several years now. So we've been working with NP Agency. They are a PR firm that we've been working with for several years now. And so they are very, very familiar with our program, with our scholars, with news outlets that are very friendly to our population. And we have been working with them again for some time. And, we are increasing our work with them. So we are sort of extending that opportunity to you all. If you all want, anyone who would like to work on a joint press release between TheDream.Us and your campus to either highlight the scholars on your campus, highlight special programming that is being done with this project, or even as Elena mentioned, November, we are going to be doing the new application round. So if you even want to use this as a recruiting tool to do some promotions for the scholarship at your campus at a local level, NP Agency would be willing to work with you and sort of be able to devise some of these joint releases and help you even put together a social media campaign where you can promote the scholarship on your campus. Michael is amazing. Michael is great. Again, he knows us, he knows our students. So it'll be really easy for you to be able to really work with him because he knows the population that we are speaking about, right? So all of his information is here. You can reach out to him if you want to work on something like this in the upcoming months and in the new term. Just as a reminder to everyone, we are recording the sessions and we will be providing this PowerPoint slide with all of the links and the recording in our PC Weekly tomorrow. And so, make note of that, and you should be able to have all of this information at your fingertips as early as tomorrow. With that, we're going to switch gears a little bit and go into the programming aspect of this, and I will pass the mic to the wonderful Nicole Wesley, who will talk about our internship and fellowship programs.
Thanks, Chris and Elena, for sharing some of those important announcements. I'm now excited, as Chris mentioned, to talk about 2 career support programs that partner colleges can sign up to participate in: the TheDream.Us internship and fellowship program. I know many of you have already heard about these programs, and thank you to our 30+ partner colleges who have already signed up to participate. But please listen up, because in a few minutes, I will be sharing some exciting new announcements regarding our funding guidelines for both of these programs. So first, to provide some context, we know based off of data from our annual scholar surveys that our scholars are wanting and needing tailored and inclusive career supports. And this includes access to paid opportunities. Some of the top career resources our scholars say are most needed are finding paid internships and fellowships, as well as other paid income opportunities. In the past 2 academic years, based off of our scholar data, only 15% of scholars say that they have completed an internship or fellowship, with just under half of those being unpaid experiences. Our scholars also tell us in our scholar data that their single highest need in college is additional financial assistance that puts money directly into their pockets. So you, as partner colleges, can help provide a solution by signing up for the TheDream.Us internship and/or fellowship program. Do know that they're 2 separate but similar-ish programs where partner colleges can sign up and receive up to $15,000 in funding per program year to provide paid opportunities to your scholars And our program year aligns with the calendar year, so it goes from January 1 to December 31st. Next slide. As I mentioned on the last slide, the receiving a stipend or getting money directly into our scholars' pockets is a huge benefit of these programs. There's also additional important benefits as well for PCs to participate in these programs and for our scholars to participate in an internship or a fellowship. On this slide, I've listed just a few quotes from some of our scholars that have already participated in these programs, and you can see through their own words how important these opportunities are for our scholars' career development. These paid opportunities help our scholars increase their professional network and social capital, increase their confidence, and gain valuable experience while strengthening and learning new career skills. So hopefully you can see why these programs are so important to scholars, and hopefully if you're not already participating, you'll be urged to sign up sometime this fall. Next slide. So a little bit more about these programs. PCs who participate in either program will be able to offer paid internships or fellowships, or both if you sign up for both, for your scholars regardless of their status. So in a nutshell, each partner college is responsible for promoting, running, and managing the program. This includes creating and or finding opportunities to promote your scholars. These opportunities can be on campus, they can be off campus, they can be in person or remote. If you sign up, I can provide more guidelines on that. Partner colleges also need to identify 2 points of contact who understand the program and serve as a main program contact for scholars. We recommend that one of those point of contacts be a liaison already with TheDream.Us. So a scholar advisor, a career services liaison would be an example. Lastly, partner colleges can receive up to $15,000 per program year from TheDream.Us. So if you sign up for both programs, you can receive up to $30,000 per program year. For more information, please review that one-page program brief. It will provide some more detail on how to sign up. Next slide. So I also want to specifically talk about funds for this program and how the funding specifically works. I know that our original funding model of expecting partner colleges to raise funds themselves was a concern and even a deterrent when talking to some of our partner colleges who have not signed up yet. We want as many PCs to participate, and we don't want our funding guidelines to be a deterrent. So therefore, I'm very happy to say that we've updated our program funding guidelines, which removes the co-funding commitment for partner colleges, which essentially means PCs, you're no longer expected to raise funds for these programs, and TheDream.Us will cover 100% of funds allocated. So hopefully for the PCs that mentioned that this was originally a deterrent, hopefully you are now more able to sign up and participate. Please know that this funding change is for current participating partner colleges, as well as any new participating partner college who chooses to sign up. The rest of the information on this slide is current and unchanged information on funding, but I wanted to share to provide more transparency, as I also get some commonly asked questions from partner colleges. Specifically, I'll just highlight numbers 1 through 3. As I already mentioned, each participating partner college will have $15,000 earmarked in funding for stipends to scholars. We are not actually handing over the funding to you. As you see in number 3, funds will be transferred from TheDream.Us to Parker Dewey, who we partner with in both programs, who disperses payments to scholars. So funds will never be dispersed directly to PCs. And I highlight that because when I tell partner colleges that, they're like, great, we don't have to worry about that. Also, as mentioned in number 2, the Dream.Us, we will cover 100% of that $15,000 in funding that's earmarked for your partner college. That includes the $15K that would go to scholars as stipends, and it also includes that 10% Parker Dewey fee that we pay with our partnership with working with Parker Dewey. The last thing I'll just briefly highlight on this slide is number 7, the disclaimer, is that all funding is subject to available funds. Next slide. So for PCs who are interested in applying, here are the steps. I do also want to mention that for partner colleges who are already participating and have already signed up, know that you don't need to reapply. These steps are for partner colleges who have yet to sign up to participate. So the first step is review our program brief and review the specific program's concept paper. So there's a concept paper for the fellowship program, as well as a concept paper for the internship program. Then you'll have to determine a primary point of contact as well as a secondary point of contact. Again, their responsibilities would be helping to manage, promote, and understand the program. Number 3 is specific to the fellowship program only, where you'd have to craft a short 1 to 2 page concept paper outline your fellowship program. And we do provide samples and what should be included in that concept paper within the program brief. And then if you're interested, the deadline to apply and say, yes, our partner college wants to participate is end of day Friday, November 29th. Obviously, we encourage you to sign up as early as possible as well. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to address those. Next slide.
Thank you so much, Nicole. We do have a couple of questions in the chat, so I don't know if you want to maybe address those right now. It looks like we're pretty good on time, and I'll try to go through the rest of this pretty quickly. But we do have a question. If we are only into our 2nd year, do you recommend to wait? Does the stipend have to be attached to their academic program or only the internship?
Yeah, so if I understand correctly, we hope that if you're already signed up and participating, that you're using as much as the $15,000 as possible, because this funding will go into the pockets of our scholars once they complete an internship or fellowship. I think the second part of that question was, does it need to align with their academic major? Not necessarily. We leave it to the partner colleges. We want the opportunity to be a hands-on learning opportunity that aligns with their major and or their career goals. It can also be something that they're developing a lot of transferable or soft skills that can help them in any career that they pursue later.
And then I have one last question and then we'll move on. If we are able to raise funds to expand access, can we work directly with Tapati?
Yeah.
Payments the same for all students?
Yeah, so great question, Joanna. Tapalti is the payment platform that Parker Dewey uses to pay out scholars and internships and fellowships. Joanna, I would suggest you to email me offline. I do not know the answer to that question, but I can connect you to our contact at Parker Dewey to learn more.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole. So I'm going to go through some of our additional programming for the fall semester. These are more sort of scholar support, academic support services. So to begin, we'll start off with the PC Career Development Grants. Just letting everyone know this is still available. We still have funding. So if you are looking to hold an event on your campus, specifically focused on career pathways, regardless of work authorization. So those including entrepreneurship, independent contract work. We really want that to be the focus for these events. we can still provide funding up to $2,000 for you to host this event on your campus for your scholars, and even expand that to your undocumented student population overall on your campus. The funds are usually earmarked for things like speaker honorariums, food, giveaways. We have had a couple of PCs do things that are a little bit more unique to their campus and to their programming. So all of that is sort of open up for discussion. We currently have 6 partner colleges that I'm working with just to sort of refine those budgets and make sure that we could approve and that there are not going to be any issues in paying anything for this fall. So if I owe you an email, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get to you and hopefully get you all finished and approved so that you can start planning these events on your campus for the fall. But honestly, folks, we only have 6. Like, I want to see 10. I want to see 15. I want to see 20. Like, we want maybe 30. I don't know if we have enough for 30, but I want to see more events of these on the campuses. We do have the funding. We will work with you on what you want to do on your campus. So if you are interested in this, please submit the application. You can find the link at the bottom of this slide. You can also just reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns before you submit the application, right? This is a great opportunity also to maybe even collaborate with some of the neighboring partner colleges in your city, in your venue. Shout out to George Mason and Nova in Virginia, who are collaborating to put together an event this fall. So there's definitely some opportunities here to provide the information and the resources that our students, our scholars desperately need in putting together their career objectives moving forward, right? Like, we are looking at this as a keystone program for us moving forward because we know that this is the resources and the information that our scholars need, right? And no one is better equipped to provide that on an individual basis than our partner colleges, right? So we want to really equip you to being able to deliver this information and work collaboratively in supporting our scholars for these career developments. So that's still open. Feel free to apply. Feel free to email me if you have any questions. Also wanted to let you know we will be continuing our immigration Q&A sessions. These are really more scholar facing, but we welcome partner colleges to come in and sit in on these sessions. This is an open sessions where our scholars are able to ask their immigration questions to an immigration attorney. We've been working with an immigration attorney named Sui Chung. She's amazing. She's a rock star. She does such a great job at answering our scholars' questions and directing them to the resources for them to move forward with their questions and any pathways that they may be able to explore, right? So these are the dates that we have. It's the last Thursday of the month, usually from 5 to 45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find this information on our website along with some other immigration resources that we provide. So the link is also here and you'll be able to click on that and see some of the other resources that we have available on that page. The PC Power Hour schedule, I am like super psyched that we have like triple digit numbers attending this session. Like, it's so great to see that everyone has come out, that everyone is sort of like getting on the same page in terms of what we are offering, what we're doing, all the administrative aspects that are coming out for this semester. So these are the sessions for the rest of the semester. We usually do these at the last Tuesday of every month. There for November and December, it was getting kind of close to the holidays, so we actually pushed those up a little bit because we know that folks will most likely be away during the holidays and did not want that to sort of like really affect the attendance or the information that our PCs are receiving. So if you can, please just put a hold on your calendar right now for these dates. We will send out the calendar invites at least 2 weeks in advance so that it's on your calendar. But if you can put a hold on it now just to ensure that you are available to attend these sessions and that you're getting all of the information that we're providing in a timely manner as we're going through this. We didn't put it into this presentation, but as it's been mentioned a couple of times, November 1st, we are launching the application cycle for the new application round. So that October session, we will completely dedicate for a new promotional kickoff round. So that's October 29th session, especially if you're someone from the admissions office who is looking at recruiting, you definitely want to make sure that you attend that session, right? So again, hopefully you guys can put a hold on these and we will be able to see you all at our future PC Power Hours. We will continue to run the professional conference grants for scholars to be able to attend professional conferences across the country. We will be continuing that throughout the rest of this semester. Just to do a quick recap, in March, we took 20 students to the Success Convening where they were able to really engage with other professionals who work specifically with this population of students. And it was a great success. Students had a great time. More recently, I've just come back from taking 40 scholars to the Alpha Convention in August. And it was a great opportunity. As you can see, we were able to be hosted by the CEO of the Alpha organization, Damian Rivera, who welcomed our scholars, really made them feel like they owned the space, that they belonged in the space. It was just a way to kick off this experience for students and really sort of letting them know that there are other services, there are other organizations aside from the Dream.Us, aside from the partner colleges that are willing to support them and provide them resources. But in true Dream.Us scholar fashion, our scholars did share with him that they have been experiencing difficulties in accessing internships and fellowships and other programming that is directly being provided by Alpha due to their immigration status, right? So that was a huge, huge step for us because to Damien's credit, he owned some of those shortcomings and said we need to do better, and I'm willing to work with the Dream.Us and with the students to make sure that we are making these opportunities available to students. So I think this is going to be a hallmark for us in the way we look at scholars attending these experiences and these organizations to really broaden the scope of what is available to them and how they can access these resources and services that are being offered by national organizations, aside from them just attending these conferences for networking purposes, right? So upcoming, we have the Latitude Conference, which is completely focused on the mainstream economy. It's an entrepreneurship, small business ownership conference that is being held in September. Obviously, this has been a huge part of the programming and the work that Nicole has been doing. So we're going to be taking 60 scholars to that conference and in similar fashion are working with the organizers to make this a more in-depth experience for our scholars to be able to come out of this with tangible resources that they will be able to implement into their programming throughout their college careers. Later in October, we will be taking an additional 60 scholars to the SHIP convention, which we've done for now the third year. And again, sort of looking at it through a similar lens. Both of these conference opportunities are closed. We've already closed out the applications. We've already made the selections for these students, but these are upcoming. So I wanted to just let everyone know what we're doing right now. We will have one new opportunity that just has become made available to us specifically for nursing students and professionals. So the application round for the MagPath Nursing Conference will open up later this week. It will be posted on our website later this week. You have the link here that you'll be able to access that application and all of the information needed for this particular conference. And we are doing something a little bit different with this one. In the past, we have only made these opportunities available to our scholars. So if someone had already graduated, unfortunately, they had not been able to participate in this. For this specific program, because the MagPath Nursing Conference is really geared towards nursing professionals, we actually will make this available to alumni. So we're looking at alumni, juniors, and seniors in the nursing profession. So if you know students who have graduated from your college through a nursing degree and are practicing nurses who would benefit from being able to participate in this program, please let them know. We're going to be emailing them, but you have those personal relationships and can let them know that this is available to them. We will be covering their conference registration fee, the hotel fees, and the flights, which are basically the major cost for attending the conference. So this is a great opportunity for them to be able to participate in this event at a minimal cost to themselves. Some additional academic support services. So I just want to remind everyone, we have a partnership with Modern States, which provides free CLEP course prep. CLEP exams are administered through College Board and provide college credits for the completion of one of their exams. Over 2,900 colleges and universities across the country accept CLEP exam credits as part of their course load. So if this is something that is available on your campus, we just want to make sure that we are putting that out there, especially around this time of the year. I know that students have been locked out of classes because of enrollments, or they missed a date or something like that. If they need to take a course and don't have that opportunity right now, if that course is available through a CLEP exam, this is a great opportunity for them to take the CLEP exam and not miss out, not have to wait for that sequence course to come up next semester. So it is a way for students to save time and money. The courses are completely free, and they will even reimburse the students the $95 fee to take the CLEP exam. So it is literally free for the student to go through this process. We know that our partner colleges are also bridging the gap for tuitions. So this might be also a convenient way to also have students take these CLEP exams and help minimize some of the costs, both on the scholar side, on our side, and on the PC side. We also have the the Kaplan vouchers. So any students who are looking at going into grad school, we have a partnership with Kaplan, who does test prep for the MCATs, LSATs, GRE, and a multitude of other graduate admissions exams. And these courses, again, through our partnership, are completely free. I mean, these courses normally run $600–700, but they are being made available to our students for free, including all of the course information that students need to go through the online prep. And then finally, we also are offering a 50% discount voucher for any students who need to take the GRE. And this includes even a sample practice exam that the students can take. If they also want to take, so this is just for the exam itself. It's not a prep for the GRE exam. So students can definitely double dip here and take the Kaplan GRE prep course and then still use the discount voucher to get a 50% discount on the examination fee itself. So tons of great resources. Please, we are sending them out to students, but as you are working through with them through this process, please feel free to let them know that this also exists. On this sort of graduate note, also want to send a reminder to everyone. We are primarily an undergraduate scholarship program, but are able to provide in a much smaller fashion a graduate loan scholarship for those who are looking at going into graduate degrees. We call it a graduate loan scholarship, but it really functions more as a loan reduction program because students do need to have an actual graduate loan through a financial institution to be able to apply and be eligible for the scholarship program. So the deadline for that is coming up really quickly. September 3rd is the deadline to apply for the scholarship component. These are the amounts between the amount of loan that the student will need to have taken out and the corresponding amount of scholarship that they would be able to receive if approved, that corresponds with the amount that they have taken, again, to help them reduce some of that cost. Students must be at the point of a promissory note in order to apply for the scholarship program. So I want to make that a specific note because they will need to have that already in hand by the time they apply for the scholarship, because they need to upload that as part of the application process. And then we are running a little short on time. I do want to leave some time for any additional questions or concerns that have not been answered in the chat already. But Nicole, do you want to give just maybe a 3-minute synopsis on the next couple of slides?
Sure, I'll go very quickly. Just wanted to remind everyone, we had a wonderful summer career series that happened over the month of July. Feel free to recycle and reuse these recordings and share out with your scholars and alumni. We had wonderful guest speakers who were undocumented and immigrant business owners and professionals talking about things like starting a business, independent contracting. And I think a large favorite from scholars was the last one, talking about Parker Dewey and finding micro internships on that platform. Next slide. Also just want to remind everyone too, we have wonderful resources on iTunes, as well as a new handout on tax matters for undocumented immigrants. I do want to mention with ITINs, for our internship and fellowship program, a social security number or an ITIN is required to participate. And those numbers are also required to participate in a lot of other inclusive paid internship and fellowship programs externally through our program. So I just highlight that because if you have students that are interested, check out this website, encourage them to apply for an ITIN. And check out our Tax Matters form as well. There's some great questions and answers on there, like is the TheDream.Us scholarship and stipend taxable? If you don't know the answer, you can check it out at our Tax Matters guide. Next slide. And then lastly, some external upcoming career events that are geared towards undocumented students. Pre-Health Dreamers are hosting a number of upcoming workshops. Pre-Health Dreamers help support undocumented students who are specifically interested in healthcare or health-related careers. Outside of their workshops, they're also looking for applicants to apply to their Undocu Launchpad, which is essentially, I want to say it's like a 5 or 6 week program where students can learn about creating their own business as it revolves around a health-related type business. So please check those out if you feel your scholars would be interested. Next slide.
And so, as I stated, the PowerPoint and the recording will be made available to everyone through the PC Weekly that is going out tomorrow, roughly afternoonish, late afternoonish. And so all the links for everything that we've shared are in the actual slides themselves, but we also created this little reference page of everything that was shared so that you have the links or email contact information that you need all in one page for the entire session that was talked about today. So you will get all of this tomorrow, including the recording of today's session in the PC Weekly tomorrow. If you, for whatever reason, are not receiving the PC Weekly, feel free to email me. I will put my email in the chat and I can work with our comms teams to make sure that you are receiving that information and so that you're not missing out on anything. While I put my email in the chat, I want to open up the floor for any questions, concerns. Feel free to raise your hands and you can unmute yourself for anything regarding what was said or just in general with the program that you want to know. I will actually stop sharing my screen. So we can see if anyone has any questions. Again, feel free to unmute yourself or raise your hand.
Hello.
Hola.
Hi, this is Cynthia. Let's see if I can. So I had something to say about the internships. I've had several students also be sent to me for assistance with finding internships, and there's some programs that require it for graduation. So what I did is I also reached out to the college to let them know that when I talked to the supervisor for all the advisors, she asked me if that was a real question or if it was hypothetical. And I was like, no, there's students that can't graduate. So, but what she did, luckily, is she said, okay, if this is a real thing that happens, I need to talk to faculty. We need to redesign this program so that because they have certain guidelines, they have to work for certain employers. Like as far as their internship, they don't choose any internships. It has to be with specific employers for certain programs. So they were willing to change that. So I think it's a conversation that we have to have, with faculty on that side as well, on the academic affairs side.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Cynthia. I just want to quickly add, and Cynthia, sorry, I can't remember which partner college you're at, but for other partner colleges where it is a requirement, and knowing that it can take time to talk to faculty to change or make it more inclusive to all students,
Mhm.
that's why it can also be important to sign up and use some of these funds. If your scholars, it is a requirement to participate in an internship for graduation, where other students are receiving paid internships. We know our scholars, it can be hard to find those. So
Mhm.
instead of being reactive, being proactive, because we've seen some partner colleges questions come our way in regards to what you had mentioned.
Okay, great. I'll look into that. University of Houston.
Okay, thanks, Cynthia.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. And thank you again for just making that outreach, right? And really just connecting with folks that may be a little bit outside of our Dream.Us teams on campuses. I think that is, I think you make a very valuable point there, and something that we want to think about in terms of expanding this network to really hopefully incorporate this into the general college culture, because we do see these. We do see that there are faculty who are running programs, who are running fellowships, who are probably not taking into consideration that they're locking these students out of these opportunities, right? And our students are awesome, right? Like they exceed all national benchmarks for all college students, not just undocumented students, right? So these are potential, talented individuals that they are not being inclusive of in their own programming. So it really serves as a detriment, not only to the scholar, but to the programs themselves, for locking these students out. So I think you raised a great point. This is part of the narrative that we need to really work to all together to really expand the reach of the program and how we think about serving not just Dream.Us students, but undocumented students overall on all of our campuses. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent there. Any more questions, concerns, please?
I have one last question for Nicole. For the last slides you showed presentations about, how to get your licensee or whatever it is in the medical field. Right now, we're only in our second year, we're second cohort. But if we offer it for the students on the scholarship, can we also offer for other undocumented students that we support at our college that are not part of Dream.Us to participate in those presentations or not?
Yeah, so great question, Katie. I think you're referring to one of the last slides where we mentioned an external organization, Pre-Health Dreamers, and their virtual workshops and their Undocu Launchpad. Those you are welcome to share out with all undocumented students on your campus, regardless of whether they're one of our scholars or not. Did that answer your question?
Yes, that's perfect. Because we have 28 total. Of those 28, only 8 are Dream.Us, the rest are not. So these are some great resources that I know would be very helpful. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so we are at time, and I want to be respectful of everyone's schedule, especially with the semester like right upon us. I know everyone has a thousand other things that they have to do. I will stick around for just a little bit if anyone has any additional questions, but if not, please, thank you for attending. Hopefully this was helpful for you, that the information and the resources are something that you're going to be able to utilize. And again, you will get all the information in the PC Weekly tomorrow. Feel free to reach out to me, to Nicole, if you have any other questions, Elena, for the scholarship programming stuff. But otherwise, have a great rest of your week and hope that your semester just is awesome and works out great. Have a good evening, guys.